in fitness and weight loss module 2, and we are into lesson 2, all about making your health your number one priority and why we should do that. But before we get stuck into the lesson, guys, please do a quick sound check for me. So type yes if you can hear me, and of course if you can't, hopefully you're reading the screen and you're typing no, so the support staff can help anyone with any issues whatsoever. So let's continue, guys, and look at what we're going to learn today in lesson 2. So the agenda is this. We're going to look at prioritizing health and why every single one of us should be prioritizing our health 4 to 5 times per week, or even to go further, prioritizing our health at least 30 minutes per day every single day. The second thing we're going to look at is failure and why failure is the key to success. I know that sounds crazy, but failure, every successful person in the world knows failure is the key to their success. And then lastly, we're going to look at the growth mindset and how the growth mindset can not only help us achieve the health and fitness results that we want, but also make us incredibly effective coaches when it comes to coaching other people, and then long term to actually see the results we want in our life and really truly live that 1% better every day and enjoy the process. So let's get stuck in, guys. What are the risks of not prioritizing our fitness, guys? Just in terms of our health, our fitness, our long-term goals. What are some of the risks? 5 or 10 seconds. Share out some obvious answers when it comes to what's going to happen. Good morning from Australia, saying Gail. Good morning, Gail. Good to see you. So yeah, a couple of people saying slow results, poor fitness, failure. Failure's a good one, but I like failure, and I'll explain why later. But yeah, obviously failing in and maybe achieving the results that you want. Putting stuff in the back burner, very good, Rashava. Good to have you on. Don't recognize that name. You must be new. Stress levels increase in St. John. Weight gain, St. Francis. Exactly, guys. We're all on the right step. Tomorrow never comes. Exactly. Brilliant one. Very good. Very good. So we talked about lack of physical fitness. That is obviously one of the main risks of not prioritizing our fitness. Then John was saying stress levels, lack of motivation, lack of focus. Very, very good. So little or no focus and motivation. So lack of physical fitness. If we're not prioritizing our health, we end up getting a lot of less focus when it comes to our own physical fitness, sometimes when it comes to our relationships or career, and we get stuck in kind of a cycle of unhappiness. This leads to long-term risk of health problems and possibly long-term risk of relationship problems and happiness in general, and then risk of relationship problems down the line. So it does have a huge negative effect when you don't prioritize your physical fitness and health a few times a week. John saying physical health leads to mental health. Exactly, and that's a big one. A lot of people don't realize that. So many people think that exercise these days is a chore. It's something we have to do. I keep trying to remind people it's a celebration of what your body can do, not of what you have to do. So it should be celebrating what you can. So let's talk about it in real terms. What are we actually talking about when we're talking about our health? What are we talking about, guys? Are we talking about just fitness? Are we talking about being in shape? Or are we talking about something more? What are we actually talking about when it comes to our health? What does our health actually mean? Isabella saying, yes, good morning in Paradise, New Zealand. Oh, I hear it is paradise over there, Isabella. Are you? Well, it must be crazy time over there. Crazy time. Mind, body, spirit. Very good, Wendy. Exactly. So if we look at health as an overall thing, health is actually a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. So many people are looking for, a quick fix to feel a bit better or to get a bit better shape. And I think a lot of us are losing the motivation and the will to really find an overall balance between our physical fitness, our mental health, our relationships, our work, and everything else. So it's not just about avoiding disease, but it's also about getting a balance of your physical health, your mental health, and your actual relationships being in a very healthy place, so you can actually wake up every day motivated and happy. And it's something I work continuously on. Specifically when I'm working very hard on my fitness and my work, I really have to make sure I'm not ignoring my relationships as well. So that's what we're looking for, a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease, right? So Choosing your physical and mental health as your number one priority is the best investment you'll ever make. And it's the best investment I ever made when I made that investment 8 years ago and stopped living to drink in the pub 3 and 4 days a week and hate my job and hate the rest of the week, and started to find a much better balance in my life. And I was talking to a student today, and we were having a chat, and we were talking about kind of results and results getting a bit slowing down, and trying to figure out really, what was slowing that down. And sometimes it could be a mix of a lot of things. It's not just your training. Is it you're, putting too much time in your socializing and not enough time in your nutrition and your training? Can you back off in the socializing and put more effort into your fitness and your nutrition? And will that make you feel better? Like too much socializing and too much partying, are you feeling better or worse? And it's finding the balance that works for you. I'm not going to tell anyone's balance, but you have to find the one where you wake up every day feeling good. So, what I find a lot of people start off with, before they start the foundation course with me, or maybe before they start the Ultimate Body Transformation Program, this is a typical priority of their typical order of priorities. Families maybe first, work or social life is second and third maybe, or third and second, hobbies, and then generally down the line is their physical and mental health. So they put themselves as one of their last priorities. Now, what happens when you put your own physical and mental health as one of your last priorities? What happens when you start ignoring your long-term health? Well, really, you've seen, anyone did the foundation course, we know what happens. What happens is increased stress, poor energy, problem sleeping. This leads to muscle breakdown, postural problems, loss of fitness. This then leads to health problems and mental problems like depression and anxiety and overly stressed. This leads to family problems and life problems, and then this leads to serious health risk and severe depression. Okay, serious health risk and severe depression when we ignore our long-term health and ignore our physical fitness. Natalie just arrived. It's like we're in a real classroom and you just walked in. I'm just saying, listen, it's okay you're late. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But that's what's going to happen if we're ignoring our physical fitness and long-term health. Increased stress, muscle breakdown, health problems, depression, family problems, life problems, serious risk and severe depression. And what did I say in the foundation course? Then your family, your friends, your work you get the worst version of you. You get the worst, most stressed, most unfit version of you, right? Who wants to be the worst version of themselves? I don't think anyone wants to be the worst version of themselves. And when you put yourself last all the time, that's what ends up happening. So what you have to do is prioritize your health. Now there's a few things you can prioritize that are going to have a serious positive effect on your overall health, that state of well-being. And the first one is, of course, guys, exercise. Now I always give this warning, guys. It's a very serious warning. It's a very serious warning. Exercising frequently can cause an increase in energy, good mood, fat loss, improved immune system, and a dramatic reduction in stress. It's a very serious warning, guys. So listen, if you only want to feel better, I'm going to have to tell you to exercise, right? I'm going to give some guys. So what does prioritizing our physical fitness do? What does it help us do? It helps to give us daily focus. Okay? It helps to give us daily focus. Okay? It starts your day with specific focus. If you're waking up and going, listen, I'm going to do a 10-minute workout. I'm going to do a 15-minute HIIT workout. I'm going to do an upper lower this week, and I'm going to do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You have a very specific focus that day that, yes, I'm going to go do my workout and hopefully start my day with that workout if I can. If not, look, like me, you might have to train a couple of evenings, but no big deal. All right? No big deal. That's the first one. All right? It gives us daily focus. Okay? That's the first one. The second one, and the most important one, is it reduces stress. So from psychological benefits from exercise, it reduces stress. Now, how does it do that? It increases our serotonin and dopamine, our good hormones, our pleasure hormone, our good hormones, and that helps reduce cortisol in our system, reducing stress hormone. Okay? So it also wakes us up, also improves cognitive function. It improves your physical fitness. Now, guys, It improves your physical fitness. How? By getting you fitter and stronger. That's how. By getting you fitter and stronger. The fitter and stronger you are, the better you feel. I can guarantee you. You talk to someone who's in great shape, they feel great. You talk to someone who's let themselves go out of shape, they feel terrible. It's not a coincidence that when you're in great shape, you feel great because the hormones are set right. How do you think that? I always use that analogy of the car. Brand new car drives perfect. Beaten down old rusty car with engine problems doesn't run very well. Okay, if we can imagine being the cars, which one do we want to be? I want to be the sports car that drives pretty good. Well, maybe not the sports car, but like a really nice Ford or something. Sports car, I might have to give up my German beers for. I don't want that. Improves our mental health, guys. It improves our mental health. So, how does it do that? Well, it gives us confidence from our results. It teaches you how much potential you have. And you realize when you can actually put that much daily focus in and concentrate over a 6 or 10 or 12 or a 6 month or 9 month period, that listen, if you can do that, you can really apply that anywhere in your life. Put in the work, get the results. It teaches you a bit of confidence. It teaches you about potential. And maybe, here's what I always say, guys. Here's what I always say. So many people are down on themselves these days. So many people are down on themselves these days and sometimes not sure what to do and maybe doubting themselves. And do me a favor. Do me a favor. Expect more from yourself. Because trust me, you can do it. Expect more. Expect more of your fitness. Expect more from your job. Expect more with your relationships. And you will do better with them. You will do better with them. Because I believe that you will. So why don't you? And then it teaches you priority planning, guys. If you actually manage to prioritize a few workouts a week for the importance of feeling better and improving your life as a whole when it comes to your physical and mental health and your relationships and your energy and your focus, does that not teach you a little better time management? Does that not teach you a little better goal setting and going through with the process? And does that not teach you how to really achieve results anywhere? I think it does. I think it does, right? But that's that, right? So let's talk about achieving results and not just in fitness. Let's talk about achieving results and not just in fitness. I'll say that one more time. Let's talk about achieving results as a whole in our life and not just fitness. Now, when we think about our long-term goals, how do we actually get them? How do we get our long-term goals? Like, say we think and we want to be, in great shape, or we want to, upgrade our house, or we want a better career option in 6 or 9 months' time, and we think about the long-term goal. What's the first thing we have to do? Well, the first thing is it has to be a realistic goal, but do me a favor. It has to be realistic, but it has to be big as well. So pick a realistic goal, but something that scares you, something that you almost think you can't do, but if you really put the work in, you will. So like my crazy reach 100,000 people this year, reach 1 million people in 2018 with the message, aim to feel 1% better every day and enjoy the process. The second thing you need to do is you always have to ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want it? On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want it? It has to be 10. If it's not 10, you're probably not going to prioritize it into your life. It has to be 10. Maybe 9. If it's 8, you're probably not going to get there. So I have 2 or 3 things I'm working on at the moment that are 10. And funny enough, my specific goals in fitness are not any of them. Getting my workouts in is, but specific goals because I'm working on something else. And I'm quite happy with where I am at the moment with my fitness. So, 10, right? There's 2 things I'm working on. It's 10, and I'm seeing great results in them so far. Now, once you've picked your goal and you've decided, yeah, it's definitely what I want, it's 10, then you have to research what you need to do on a daily basis to get the long-term goal. Because once we've picked it, now we have to forget about the long-term goal. Let's say we want to reach this in 12 months' time. Okay, what do I need to do every day to reach that in 12 months' time? How much work do we need to put in every day to reach that in 12 months' time? So let's take an example of we want to write a book. And that book has 12 chapters. And we're writing a 12-chapter book. What do we need to do on a monthly basis? We need to write 1 chapter. Okay, Great. So 1 chapter in a month. So what do we need to do in a week? A quarter of a chapter. All right, great. So what's a quarter of a chapter? Let's say a quarter of a chapter is 7 pages. What do we need to do on a daily basis? We need to write a page a day. That's it. So you take your long-term goal, you break it down to the monthly goal, you break it down to the weekly goal, you break it down to the daily goal, and now you do what you need to do daily to reach the long-term goal. So it is literally long-term, monthly, weekly, daily, do the daily thing. And then all you're thinking about is doing the daily goal. This is something that took me a long time to learn, guys. And what I've realized is doing the daily thing is what gets you the results. It's not thinking about the long-term goal every single day. It's actually making sure that you've figured out what you need to do daily and do the daily goal every single day. And that's the enjoyable part. Because if you're really enjoying that daily part, there's no stopping you. No one can stop you. No matter what they say, no matter how much they doubt you, they will not stop you. Guys, there are people in the world no smarter, no better than you and me, and they have achieved more with this mindset. And it's something I've only learned over the past couple of years, and I've achieved more in the past 2 or 3 years, career-wise and in fitness, than I did for like 33 years of my life. Trust me, this works. Schedule short-term goals into your life. Short-term daily, short-term daily, short-term daily. And execute the plan without a doubt. Do your best. I was doing YouTube videos lately, and I was doing daily, and then something came up and I worked on something else, and I missed daily, and I put 3 days in one video and put it up. You got to roll with the punches sometimes. Roll with the punches. Get it done. And then you got to track your results and use visualization. End of the week, did you get your 7 pages in? End of the month, did you get your 14, 28 pages in? Yeah, 28? 28 pages in. Did you get your chapter done? Month 2, are you doing your 2nd chapter? Yeah? Make sense? Gene says, I will achieve 100 double under jumps. I currently am at 27. My daily hits will get me there. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. So, let's talk about how do we do that. Let's talk about how do we actually make sure that we're tracking our results and using visualization. So that last part, track results and use visualization. How are we doing that? We're going to use something called a visualization board or dream board or whatever the hell you want to call it. Okay, I use a visualization board. That's what I say. Visual board, a visualization board. I put up all the stuff that I want to achieve. At the moment, I have 2 very specific things on my visualization board, and that's it. This one, let me see. This one is one I've had for a very long time. The ability to work freely off the laptop anywhere. I'm close to that. I'm getting there year by year by year by year. This one is something I want this year for my family. So, nice home that we can settle in. And those 2 of them are in my head. Hammering the message home for me every day to do daily what I need to do to get there. Yeah? And I think I'm getting there. I think I'm getting there. I think I'm closer than I ever have been in both of these things. I might be 12 months away. I don't think I'm any longer than 12 months away, but I might be about 12 months away. So generally I would put up my fitness goals as well, but sometimes when I have 2 specific things that I won't necessarily. So with the fitness, I'll always picture a current goal. So a few months back when I made this lesson, of course, one of them was to improve my Olympic lifting. It was very much a passion of mine a couple of years ago, and I was kind of getting back into it. At the moment, that's not a big goal for me, but that was, and I did get it back up to where I wanted to with that daily reminder and doing it every day. I always have a family and friends visual on the board, and I'll tell you why, guys. I always have a friends and family visual on the board because it needs to remind me. I tend to put a huge amount of effort into my career and into my fitness, and sometimes I can prioritize that sometimes a little too much during the week over family and friends. And I have to remember that I have to be at home to help out. I have to be at home to, if my wife's had a long day, and do my best to get that in. So I always have that visual there to like look at it on a daily basis going, that it has to be, you know, just because it's a Tuesday and you have a 13-hour workday, you still have to do your best to get home and help out at home. So one for me, it's a big one for me, a visual reminder of family and relationships, because it's something that I need to continuously work on. I'm great at working 15 hours a day, 16 hours a day. Sometimes I'm not great at going home when I'm tired trying to have a conversation. That's something I work on. Home, listen, I'll have it there until I get it, the visualization, and a visual reminder of long-term career goals. Guys, I'm getting there year by year, year by year. Okay. If you do not visually see your goals on a daily basis, sometimes you'll not work towards them. So even if you have that daily work that you're planning to do, at first, sometimes having that visualization board is very helpful to wake up in the morning and see the board and remind you that you actually have to do that daily goal. It's like I was saying with the YouTube videos I've been making recently. I was great for doing daily, 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 daily. Something came up for 3 days that was very important, but then I forgot. Literally, I just didn't have time, wasn't prioritizing it, and then got stuck back into it this week. So, sometimes that visualization can help. Yeah? Now, I know a lot of the time we have very busy lives. I know a lot of the time that sometimes it feels like we don't actually have the time to fit all of the things in that we need to fit in, right? And sometimes you have these long-term goals, and then you think about your daily goals, and you're like, but I've no time to do those daily goals. I've no time to do those daily goals. And even I've said that. So this is what helps me when I have no time. This is the time management stuff I use on a daily basis and on a weekly basis if I need to plan my week, especially if I have a particular busy week. I use something called a capture list. And I'll tell you why. Because I find I write to-do lists, and to-do lists I never actually do because it's just a list of things I need to do. And then they never get organized into the things they need to be actually done, so they're useless. I look at the to-do list a week later and I still haven't done any of the jobs. Has anyone done that before? You make a to-do list, there's 12 things on it that you have to do for the week. At the end of the week, you haven't done 10 of them. Yes, lots of yeses coming through. Lots of yeses coming through on that one. So, here's what I use. Useless thing saying Christopher. I use a capture list. Some people are like, it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. So it's like the start of a to-do list. You write down all the stuff you have to do next week. So you sit down on a Sunday, and this is what I do. I prioritize planning into my week with Google Calendar. But before I fill out my Google Calendar, I write all the things that I want to get in the week. So I write down my workouts, my meal prep, my yoga. If I have something on like a wedding, or I make sure I have a family day in there. Do I need to clean the house? Do I have ridiculous stuff on or silly stuff on, like I have to tax the car and renew the insurance, or do any of that stuff? All right? That's your to-do list that you never end up getting done, right? Then I separate all of the things out. So I separate my health things, and I go, okay, my workout is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So my Monday, Wednesday is gym workout. Friday is when I get home. And then if I do get something in, kind of recovery-wise, I'd love to get something I've wanted to do recently is get back to getting maybe a little bit of yoga, flexibility, mobility, so either do it myself for 20 minutes, or if I have time, jump in a class. So I'll put it in there, and I'll say what days I'm going to do it so I can easily put it into my diary. That's all my health things sorted, okay? Then I look at my family stuff. So we have a wedding on Saturday, so we're going to a wedding. Then Sunday, R&R time, making sure we're getting good family time. Good family time. So then I have my family day, and we also have a wedding. So at least we've a couple of nice kind of events where we can kind of socialize, see some friends, relax, and not have too much kind of stress build up. I know I have a couple of lates, so I always plan with my wife. Listen, I have 2 lates or 3 lates or 4 lates this week. This week I actually have 4, and we've talked about it. We talked about it last week that I had to do 4 lates. It's something very important on. I'm going to do 4 lates of other stuff on this week. And that's fine. So we put it into the week and we know what we need to do. And then I look at the miscellaneous stuff. And I look at, can I do it? So clean house. No, I cannot do it. I do not have time. Let's just get a cleaner. Cleaner's quite cheap. For 2 hours, we'll just get a cleaner. It will save us a lot of hassle. Car tax, I can do it Friday morning because I have a late. And then renew insurance, well, I can do that online in one of the lunch times. So once you've organized your jobs into those 4 sections, now you schedule them into your diary. Now you literally go day by day on your Google Calendar and put them into your diary. And anything that you think you will not be able to fit in, like the clean the house job, or if there's other jobs there, then you simply delegate to someone else, or you're postponed to a less busy week if it's not that important. Now guys, do you think that's better than the to-do list? Because we take the big to-do list, we separate it into 4 sections, then we see where we can schedule it in for the week and we throw it into something like a Google Calendar, or if we have a weekly diary, we put it in that, yeah? What about food prep, grocery, and cooking? So the meal prep is pretty much all inclusive, and what we did there is we did a small shop in about 30 minutes, and then I got breakfasts and I got dinners, which are really easy to prep because I have my oats in work, and my wife makes an omelette or something in the evening, so I get home to that. So then I'm just ordering my lunches into office at the moment because it's easier. It's costing me €18 more a week than if I made them myself, but saving me about 4 hours of time. So that's what helps me. I just make sure that if I can't prioritize my meal prepping, I use a meal delivery service. It might be a little more money, but it saves me a lot of time in the long run. And then some days I do have time, like if I didn't have the wedding, I would have had time to do a meal prep that week. So, yeah. Very neat idea. Thanks, St. Christopher. Samala saying much better. Okay, perfect, guys. Now, and then once you do that, you have your daily planning, so you can literally, like generally I'll wake up in the morning. I have a kind of weekly with daily notes. So I'll wake up in the morning, have a quick look at the Google Calendar, write up all the stuff that I need to do, put it up there, and then get stuck into it. Yeah? And then just as I go through the day, cross it off, cross it off, cross it off, and so on. Yeah? Sound good? So plan your day every day once you've done that off the capture list, and fill in the scheduled jobs, mark them off when completed, and then replan any incomplete jobs that weren't that important for the next day or the next week. Hopefully that did help, guys. So the idea really being planning for success, guys. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in, day out. So the better you get at having a very good day-to-day routine, the more that you will actually achieve when it comes to long-term results in everything. Cassie saying, my calendar says you have to do CrossFit class at 7 a.m. so I go now, Jonathan. See you next Thursday. Listen, no problem, Cassie. Catch up. If you're doing it now, go do it now. That's okay. Colleen saying, very much Simpleology assists in scheduling. Simpleology? In scheduling and rescheduling, prioritizing everything that needs to be done. You can delegate, reschedule, etc. to make it more realistic. Yeah, that's what I do, Colleen, as well. To do this, help me through... Oh, Simpleology website. I've never heard of it. Is it good? And saying, yes, I have a diary sheet that I fill in. Okay, perfect. So, you know, that's the idea really, guys. It is about prioritizing your mental and physical health. You know, whatever you're doing, whether it be improving your fitness, improving your career, improving your hobbies, improving your relationships, you need to research and 100% decide on your long-term goals. You need to have a visual reminder of what those long-term goals are. And then you really need to get better at creating your daily routine to make sure that you're going to get the success out of it. Because it really is daily routine that guarantees success. The better your daily routine, the more successful you will be. What I'm saying, my calendar says I have to be here at this very moment. If I don't get this, then my career is at stake. Well, okay, Hala. Good stuff. It's good to hear. It's good to hear. I'm glad you're here. So, guys, that helpful? Ala, was that too repetitive? I hope you didn't disappear off the webinar. I think there was some new stuff in there. Like we talked about some of the stuff we looked at and then expanded on it a little bit. No? That's generally what I do. Go back to what we talked about. Try and expand on it. Hopefully you found that useful. If not, can't please everyone. I'm just teaching what works for me. So just teaching what works for me. Sound good? Okay, good stuff, guys. Let's talk a little bit about failure and success. Let's talk a little bit about failure and success. My favorite thing is failure. My favorite thing is failure. But you need failure to succeed. What do I mean by that? Well, when we truly do fail, when we truly fail and give up, what happens is we just can't visualize our long-term goals and we doubt our own ability to reach them. So when we actually truly fail, the only time we truly fail is when we actually give up on what we're trying to achieve. However, when we succeed, we can visualize reaching our long-term goal and 100% believe our ability to reach them. So no matter how many times we fail, we just keep going. So the only time we actually fail is when we don't use failure properly. Is when we actually get demotivated by failure instead of using it as a motivational tool to learn. And that's exactly what it is. Failure is a motivational tool to learn. Every time you fail is an opportunity to learn what you did wrong and improve on it. Because you really truly only do learn from your mistakes. Like, I have never gotten anything perfect the first time. You know, I didn't learn guitar at 13 and was amazing at guitar. It took me years. It took me years to get good at guitar. And eventually, after lots of practice and lots of failing to play music good, I ended up playing it well. Same with fitness, you know. I wasn't able to bench press 70, 80, 90 kilos the first time I bench pressed. I failed with that. And then eventually, of course, I got better and better and better and better. So succeeding is really taking all your little failures and getting over them, yeah? So let's look at the successful traits in successful people. Why are some people just a lot more successful than the rest of us? And they're no more intelligent, they're no more special, they weren't born with any extra opportunities. Why are some people in the same places we were born, in the same time, more successful than us? Were they just lucky? What do you think? Lucky, or maybe they had a different mindset. There's a few very specific traits successful people have. And we see it all the time in business. We see it all the time in life. Successful people generally have a passion for what they do. I was never anywhere near successful in music than I have been in fitness because I know this actually is my true passion. Working out, getting fitter, teaching people fitness, that is my true passion. And I know I'm going to be more and more successful every single year because all I'm trying to do is get better and better and better at teaching people fitness. And trying to reach more and more people at teaching people fitness. So I know I'm going to get better every year. I know I'm going to be more successful at every single year. Passion. You have to have passion for what you do. You do have to have an extremely hard work ethic. Like, you do have to go, I'm doing my 4 or 5 workouts if it's fitness, or if it's a career, you do have to be like, I'm doing my 12 or 13 or 14 hour workday because I need to get the work done. And look, if I need to get it done, I need to talk to my wife or my partner and explain to them why I need to do that 12-hour day so I can move on in my career and make more money so I can provide a better, you know, life for our family, and down the line we can have a lot more time together. So maybe sometimes small sacrifices are for long-term benefits. Generally, successful people will work with very specific focus and goals. It's not just about working hard, it's about working hard with very specific goals. What's the long-term goal? What's the short-term goal? What's the daily goal? When you've reached that goal, what's the next goal? Very specific goals. The one thing, now this is it, the one thing that separates very, very successful people from the rest of us is their self-belief. If you think about, if you said to your, whatever age you are now, whether you're 15 or 50, if you said to most people around you, you want to be a Hollywood actor, most people would laugh at you. Most people would say, don't be ridiculous, you can't do that, you can't be a Hollywood actor. You're 30 years old. You're 50 years old. You're from South Africa. You're from the UK. You're from Ireland. Sure, no one from Ireland ever does it. Right? That's what most people would say. However, I can point to lots of people that have had that said to them and they've become successful. Conor McGregor, the most famous mixed martial arts fighter in the world, is an Irish man from Lucan, and every single person for the past 8 years, except for the past 3 years, told him he would never even get to the UFC and became a 2-weight world champion. Samuel L. Jackson, he was told, don't be ridiculous, you're in your 50s, you're never going to be a Hollywood actor. He became a Hollywood actor. The only difference between people who truly make amazing results and the rest of us is their self-belief. They won't let people tell them they can't do it. And why would they? Someone else has done it. Why can't you? If someone else did it, why can't you? It makes no sense. They're no smarter than you. They're no more talented. They might have worked harder. They might have more self-belief. But trust me, we're all born pretty equal. Obviously, somewhat more advantages, but we're all born with the ability to get this mindset. So always strive to be better for yourself. And be willing to learn from others. Be willing to learn from others. Because if you're not willing to learn from others, especially people that have already succeeded ahead of you, and if you're too fixated on, oh, well, you know the answers, you're never going to learn. And there's some of the most specific traits successful people have. Yeah? Albert Einstein once said, anyone who's never made a mistake has never tried anything new. I think he's right on that one. You have to learn from your failures. A few famous failures. Albert Einstein didn't speak until he was 4 years old, okay? He wasn't able to speak until he was 4 years old, and his teacher said he wouldn't amount to much. The most intelligent man in history was pretty much told he wouldn't amount to much. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, and he locked himself in a room and cried for a couple of days, all right? And then he became the most successful basketball player of all time. Steve Jobs at 30 was devastated after being removed from his company, and then he came back, got his company back, and made it the most successful tech firm in the world. Oprah Winfrey was demoted as a news anchor because she was not fit for television. She wasn't fit for television. The richest paid TV host in the world was told at one stage that she wasn't fit for television. The Beatles were rejected by their first recording studio because they didn't like their sound and they thought they'd no future in music. One of the most famous bands in the world were rejected on the first time they entered a recording studio and a record contract, and Bill Gates famously dropped out of Harvard and co-owned a business called Trafodata, which was a failure. Bill Gates, who runs Microsoft. Now, what would have happened if all these people listened to the people telling them that they wouldn't amount to anything? When he says, this is really making me feel good about my life and learning, growing, thank you. I was told it was not good enough for a housework school, yet I became a chemical engineer. See, there you go. There you go. Don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do something. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. You just have to put the work in. So why is failure my favorite thing? Actually, people doubt me as one of my other favorite things because I love proving them wrong. But just because I love doing it for myself. Failure is actually the key to success. Because when we fail, it gives us a chance to learn. When we learn, it gives us a chance to grow. And the more we grow, the more we succeed. So if you think about it, failure is the key to success. Failure is the key to success. So if you remember that, and every time you fail, you see it as a good thing, nothing can ever stop you, right? So failure is my favorite thing. I kind of hate when people are telling me I'm doing great, because I'm like, this is useless to me. I can't learn from this. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. I know what I'm doing right. I'm figuring that out as I go along. Jane says, I was told only fit for factory work, yet became a senior nurse. You see, guys, there is perfect examples of this everywhere in our lives where we overcame, where someone dealt us and someone told us we failure. There is nothing you cannot do. The only thing you cannot do is what you believe you cannot do. That's it. Whatever you believe you can't do, you're right. So It's all in your mindset. And then this was a good one that a student sent to me after the first time I taught this lesson. They said, fail. First attempt in learning. Fail. First attempt in learning. I like that. And guys, one of my favorites is Conor McGregor. You must 100% believe in your vision no matter what anyone else thinks. Every single person in Ireland doubted this man. Through his career, they said, you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, you're going to fail, and he succeeded in every single one. I personally think he probably has one of the most strong and powerful mindsets in the world today. Two good quotes from him: there is no talent here, this is hard work, this is obsession. Talent does not exist. We are all equals as human beings. You can be anyone if you put in the time. You will reach the top, and that's that. I am not talented, I am obsessed. I love that. I don't think there's such thing as talent. Doubt is removed by action. If you're not working, then that's where the doubt comes in. Yeah? And that's true, because when you're actually acting, you never doubt yourself. It's when you're not doing it. It's when you're not putting the work in, thinking, oh, can I do it? Can I do it? Of course, you can do it. Believe it, do it. People who put limitations on success only limit their own ability to succeed. That's it. So guys, no procrastination. Charles Dickens famously said, my advice is never do tomorrow what you can do today. Procrastination is the thief of time. All right? So don't put it off. Don't use excuses, guys. Make a dedicated decision. Get organized. Start as soon as you decide to make a change, no matter what it is, and start working towards it. Believe in the process and track the results. So I hope you enjoyed that little section there, guys. Little section on belief, mindset, and then how do we apply those successful traits. Only work in your true passions, whether it be fitness, work, and life. Only do workouts you enjoy. Only do work you enjoy. Well, obviously, you might have to do work you don't enjoy until you do work you do enjoy. Make sure you're not working 8 hours a day for someone else's dream, and then you go home and not working on your own dream. Go home and work for a half hour, an hour a day towards it every day until you reach it. All right? Accept failure as part of learning and success. That's what it is. Accept it. Realize it will take a long time to reach your goals. That's okay. Enjoy the daily process. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the failures. Enjoy the learning. Enjoy the failures. There's no such thing as talent, guys. Believe in yourself and work hard and give it 100% of your focus and effort when you're doing it. So that's really, when it comes to succeeding in anything, that's what it's all about, your mindset. So here's a little interesting one for you. And I'm just going to show you the power of mindset, okay? There's two types of mindsets. There's something called a growth mindset and something called a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is generally when someone avoids failure. They don't like failure, so they have a strong fear of failure. Now, you shouldn't fear failure, but a lot of people do. They have a fear of failure, okay? They have a desire to look smart. They're afraid of looking incapable or challenged. Guys, I look like an idiot on a daily basis. When I'm trying to figure out stuff, or trying to catch up on emails, or try and do whatever. And it can, I don't mind it. It's fine. I learn from it. They avoid change, unwilling to take risks because of fear of failure. I love risks. They're good crack. Unwilling to learn from others. This is a big one. I love learning from others. Anyone that does anything really good that I can use, I steal it immediately. Because it's great. It's a great idea. I'm going to steal that. And then unable to take feedback. Guys, anyone that's unable to take proper feedback or criticism, or they take criticism in a negative or personal way, that's a fixed mindset. It's a fixed mindset. Okay? I don't mind. It's like Al earlier was saying, I think he did disappear off, unfortunately. But he was saying, look, he was finding this a bit repetitive, and he was finding it was distracting him. And that's fine. That's okay. I get that, Al. And maybe I'll look at this lesson and see if there's anything I can do with previous lessons that leads it in better. I have no problem looking at that. But I'm not going to take that as a negative or personal. That's just his opinion. And if I can improve my lesson to match his opinion, but also others, then I'll do my best to do that if I think there's a better way of teaching it. All of these things are a fixed mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, you have a very small capacity to grow and succeed because you're too afraid of failing. You're incapable of looking a bit silly because you want to look too smart, you're unwilling to take risks, and you don't really want to take any feedback. And I've worked with some managers and people like this, and you just got to ignore them really. So what's a growth mindset? Desire to learn, constantly learning and improving. I don't mind changing what I need to change. Enjoys challenges, regularly takes on new challenges. I love a challenge. I have 2 challenges at the moment. Embraces change. Change positive. Look, if it ain't working, change it up. Try something different. Don't get stuck in your ways. If it ain't working, change it. Not afraid to fail. Guys, I probably fail on a daily basis. On a daily and a weekly basis, I fail. I set myself challenges and I fail. I set myself a YouTube challenge and I failed. And I've adjusted and I'll probably fail again. But I'm getting there. All right? And then learn from your feedback. Use feedback and criticism as a learning tool. Can you improve your methods? Was it one person's opinion or was it valid? Have more than one person said that? Can you look at your methods? Does it improve you? So, yeah. Growth mindset. That's what we want, guys. So really look back on that fixed mindset. Do you have any of these traits? Can you change these traits? Can you look at these traits and maybe go, well, hang on a second, that makes a lot more sense. I'm going to do that. Growth mindset, guys. Don't be afraid of looking silly. Keep learning. 1% better every day and embrace change. And don't be afraid to mix it up, guys. It ain't working for you. Change it. Don't get stuck in one routine. So, guys, there's quite an interesting way of developing growth mindset. So, really, what we look at if we're going to develop a growth mindset is belief and ability, growth and learning. That's the ability, okay? We want to praise effort and not score. We want to praise problem solving and facing challenges. If you're bringing up your kids or if you're teaching people, if you have clients and you want to develop a growth mindset, you have to get this across. The ability, believe in yourself, grow and learn. Praise their effort. Praise their problem solving, not their talent, not their score, their effort. Failure is necessary for success. So teach learning, teach persistence, and teach getting over failure. And growth mindset, ability to problem solve and learn, positive outlook and team player. Teach this in wherever you are, guys. If you're a manager, if you're a coach, if you're with your family, and you can teach this. So develop this in your, in your work, in your family, in your friends, whatever it may be. A very interesting study was done. It's called the Praise Principle. It was done by a psychologist. Her name was Dr. Carol Dweck. All right, and it was a mindset test on 400 students. They took 400 fifth grade students in the United States and split them into 2 groups, and they gave them a very simple IQ test. The first group were praised on their intelligence. So the first group were told, oh, you're very intelligent. You're very good at that. Your score was brilliant. You must be naturally talented at that. The second group was praised on their effort. Oh, that was a great effort. You tried really hard. Well done on really making the biggest effort possible. And something interesting happened. After they did the first IQ test, both groups were then given an option for the next test to be an easy test or a very hard test that they would learn from. What we found was that 67% of the fixed mindset group chose the easy test. And 92% of the growth mindset students picked the hard test. So they were, if they were praised for their effort, 92% of them picked the hard test. If they were praised for their talent, fixed mindset, talent, they chose the easy test. So they actually didn't want a harder test. So that's, when you develop the growth mindset, people want to get better. Yeah? And that's how we do it, guys. That's how we do it. Instead of, saying you're not good at something, what am I missing? I'm awesome at this. No, I'm on the right track. I give up. Nope. I'll use some strategies to learn more. This is too hard. Nope. This may take more time. I can't make this any better. Come on. We can always improve. I just can't do math. I'm going to train my brain to do math or get a calculator. I made a mistake. No big deal. Mistakes help me learn better. And so on, guys. Changing one mindset for another mindset. And what are the rewards? The rewards are, of course, we'll be able to optimize our physical fitness. We'll be able to improve our focus and motivation. We'll be able to develop growth mindset in ourselves and in others. And our family, friends, and work relationships will definitely improve because we have a growth mindset. And our growth mindset is then all about improving all those areas. Adamara saying simple concepts that are the more difficult ones, specifically if we permit to be influenced by others' opinions. Crazy. Yeah, it's true. I try and not care what people think. It's something I've learned over the years. You really can't care what people think, especially if you're doing something you love. They will tell you you're doing it wrong. They will tell you will not be successful. And when you are, you can maybe help them be successful. Don't rub it in their faces. Tell them what you did. Tell them about the growth mindset. Guys, any questions on that? Any questions on that lesson? Have you enjoyed that lesson? No questions, no? Everyone gone silent? I know there's about 20-second delay, so I'm just hanging on. Merrily saying, good lesson. Joe saying, thank you for the motivating lesson, Jonathan. No problem, my pleasure. Anne saying, great lesson, you're good to listen to. Thank you very much, Anne. I could not do more than 4 rounds. I was saying, that sounds good. 4 rounds sounds good. 4 rounds is a good start. Don't worry about that. If that's your start, that's your start. There's no such thing as failure. The only time you fail is when you give up. Other than that, you're learning. Awesome lesson, thank you. Hillary, thank you. I can see where I am going wrong now. Hillary, I'm so glad you may see where you're going wrong. Hopefully that has helped you to get a little bit more time management. And guys, give yourselves a break. Get some daily habits that you enjoy and get stuck into them. I have to miss Thursdays, have to get new brakes in the car. Listen, that's all right. That's all right. Get the brakes done. It's important. My UTB cup is full. Gonna go rock this day. Good stuff, Isabella. Christopher, any tips on good ways to change from the fixed mindset to the growth mindset? Depression kicks in my ass when I fail, or when I fear to fail, then I get depressed. Christopher, here's my advice. Fake it till you make it. That's my advice. Pick a goal that you want to succeed in, that you think you're going to fail in, and pick the daily thing you need to do, and don't listen to yourself when you think you're failing, or if you are failing, just keep going anyway, and fake it until you make it, and fake it until you see progress, and keep trying, and keep trying, and keep trying, because action removes doubt and anxiousness. Hopefully action removes doubt. That's the idea. Pick the action, do the action, fake the action, try not to let kick your ass. Do your best. Even if you do it a week longer, 2 weeks longer, 3 weeks longer than last time. That's progress, isn't it? Pick small goals you know you'll achieve. That's progress, isn't it? Whatever it takes. Something that you can achieve, something that you can get in the time frame, and keep going. I'll give it a good hard kick. Lovely. Great session. I had a fixed mindset regarding box jumps, convinced I'm going to bash my shins. That's okay. And start with like the smallest box. Start with a tiny little step. Like, so you can jump in a step, right? Jump in a step. Right? Jump in a step. When you know you can do that, put a little bit of a mat on the step, jump onto the mat, and just slowly bring it up. Baby steps. Start from step 1. Don't start from step 10. That's what I always say, guys. So many people, they come up with their long-term goal, and then they start 6 months into the goal, but they haven't done the first 6 months. Do the first 6 months, guys. Do the first 6 months. I want to start my own business, but struggling with feeling not good enough. Claire, start small. Get 1 customer. What do you want to start? Claire, whatever you want to start, get 1 customer. And take care of that customer like your baby. And they will tell someone else, and they get 2 and 3 and build it that way. That's how I built my personal training business. And it was quite successful. Thank you. Been thinking about starting my own business. Merrily, go for it. Guys, if you're thinking about starting your own business, listen, I'm always trying to start businesses. I've been trying to start businesses for 10 years. I've started businesses and failed businesses. I can't say businesses. I have started, I'd say 7 or 8 online platforms, online businesses I've failed in. I've had one that did okay, and then I got too busy to do it. But they've actually ended up leading me to other places in my career. So I failed in my own businesses, and they actually They actually led me into certain jobs, and this is one of them, because I ended up building a sales and coaching course, which led me into teaching this online, which if I hadn't built that, it never would have led to this. And I did that in my free time outside of my full-time job as a personal trainer. So sometimes what you build ends up leading you into something else. So it may not be the most successful business first, but it might lead you somewhere else. And that's why it's worth doing. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. I will see you